Good morning, Ekoji. Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday morning service. My name is Sira, and I will be your service chair today. We are grateful for your presence. The service is being live streamed on Zoom. On the 19th day of our Recitation. If you are new to Ekoji, you will find in the back of each seat pocket this laminated guide, which will help you through the service and answer many questions you may have regarding the service order, as well as the history and the essentials of Shin Buddhism. Our main priority is keeping our Sangha a safe place to hear the Dharma. Although we are very happy to see each other, please be mindful of others' comfort levels. Please keep in mind the following policies. Keep your masks on at all times and be mindful of social distancing. We are allowed to chant along with Reverend Hayashi since we have our masks on. Thank you for your understanding. Reverend Hayashi will now lead us in opening meditation and recitation of the Nembutsu.
Meditation provides a cause that prepares our mind to receive the Dharma, which is teachings. Please place your hands on your lap, lower your head slightly, close your eyes, and release tension for meditation.
Please find the laminated sheet in the front of your service book. We will now sing the Vandana Kisarana with 3 refuges. Please rise. Please turn to page 39 in the service book. We will now chant Jataka. This morning, the Dhamma message will be given by Reverend Hayashi.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday service. It's such a wonderful day. I just noticed the cherry blossom behind this, this window, it's blooming right now, and the cherry blossoms along the parking lot is the early, blooming cherry blossom, and the one behind. So you have to kind of go around the garden. And it's in its full bloom, the late, blooming cherry blossom. So I hope you all, check the cherry blossom. So today I want to talk about the Jataka Tales. I believe many of you know about the Jataka Tales in Buddhism. And early Buddhist collections of sutras called the Nikaya Sutras includes a section on Jataka Tales. And these Jataka Tales are a voluminous body of literature concerning the previous lives of Shakyamuni Buddha in many forms, like human, animals, and super beings. Although this Jataka Tales talk about, the Buddha's talks about how the Buddha lived many lives, intending to realize enlightenment, we should not take them as something that really happened, like empirically, because the Jataka Tales are not meant to be factual, like the events that historically happened. A Zen master, Taito Matsubara, says that the Jataka Tales were written to express how a profound and sophisticated thinker Shakyamuni Buddha was. He says people at that time were so overwhelmed with the profundity of Buddha's ideas that it made them think that he must have gone through many cycles of birth and rebirth to become such a sophisticated thinker. And people express Shakyamuni Buddha's cycle of birth and rebirth and the many stories of the Jataka Tales as humans, animals, and super beings. For example, I want to introduce to you one of the stories in the Jataka Tales called Boy of the Himalayas. So this story is about Shakyamuni Buddha in a former life as a young ascetic boy who lived in the snow-covered Himalayas mountains seeking spiritual truth. The god Indra, God is a small g, the Indian god. The god Indra saw the boy and decided to test his understanding. Disguised as a devil, Indra approached him and recited a verse. All phenomena are impermanent. This is the law of birth and death. The ascetic boy was surprised to hear this verse and wanted to hear the verse's second half. Then the devil said to him, "I am so hungry and weak. I cannot say any more until I taste human flesh and blood." The ascetic boy thought about it and replied, "Okay, if you tell me the second half of the verse, I will offer you my body, and I promise." The devil saw the seriousness of the boy and recited the rest of the verse. When we transcend birth and death, we experience nirvana of eternal peace and happiness. The boy rejoiced at hearing these words, saying, "This is exactly the truth I've been desperately seeking at the risk of my life." he immediately carved the verses on the rock for future generations, wishing to liberate them from their sufferings. I'm now ready to die, the boy said. Keeping his promise to become food for the devil, he climbed a tall tree and leaped to certain death. Impressed by the boy's sincerity in seeking truth, the devil suddenly transformed back to his original form as Indra and caught him softly in his arms. So this is a story of the boy in the Himalayas. And this story is about Shakyamuni Buddha, who was willing to sacrifice even his own life to gain knowledge. But remember, there are 546 other stories in the Jataka Tales about how he gained his profundity. So the his profundity did not just come from one thing, but all 547 of the things discussed in the Jataka Tales. In this regard, the founder of Nichiren Buddhism, Nichiren, said, "There are no words in the tales that are not the body parts of Buddha." There are no words in the tales that are not the body parts of Buddha. Thought in this way, we can think of the Jataka Tales as the ancestors of Shakyamuni Buddha's profound thoughts. Just as the Buddha has Jataka Tales, we all have our own stories. These are our Jataka Tales. Just as the Jataka Tales can be the ancestors of Shakyamuni Buddha's thoughts, our Jataka Tales can be the ancestors of our understanding as well. There's a poem that reads, "With father and mother, there are 2 people. With father and mother and their parents, there are 4 people. With their parents, there are 8 people. Going back to 10 generations, there are 1,023 people. Going back to 20 generations, there are 10,000 people. The numerous life of batons were passed on to us, and now it is our turn to live holding that baton. That is your life, and that is my life. Therefore, what made our existence possible is the many ancestors, and even more, their stories. Those stories are our Jataka Tales, and if we even lacked one of those stories, we would not exist here today. Thus, we are very fortunate to have received such wonderful inheritance from our ancestors. However, we should remind ourselves that the inheritance are not all good. They're not all good. For example, I went to the Potomac River recently to check out the cherry blossoms, and I noticed how high the water level was. So there were benches that were already covered with water. So all of this are the results of the actions of the many people in the past. I do not think they did it, deliberately, and I do not wish to blame on them. But we are inheriting what they did. So instead of, blame on them, what we should be doing is question what we are doing without thinking. We have to question what we are doing without thinking. So we have to gain awareness of how we usually think, talk, and act. Our action in this present moment will not change the past, but will certainly change the future. By taking responsibility for our actions from day to day, we can transform our life and the world so that we can pass on a better future to our children. Shakyamuni Buddha says, "The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine." Thus, our Jataka Tales teach us how we should live best in this present moment. Please join me in Gassho. By reciting the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu, the name of Buddha, we are reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful, and we are also reminded the Dharma in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei. It is now time for the ritual of the burning of incense. This is a time to quietly contemplate and reflect on the impermanence of life. We recently restarted burning incense, which involves drawing incense from a shared bowl, and we understand that individual comfort levels may differ. We offer this option to those who are comfortable doing so, but do note that this ritual is not required. We invite you to come forward to the front table, offer gasho, and should you wish, place any dana, which is our offering of gratitude to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, in the bowl on the table. Please approach mindfully with safe distancing. And once finished, please return to your seats via the side aisles where we have placed hand sanitizer. And our guitarist continues mark. Reverend Hayashi will now lead us in closing meditation and recitation of the members.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Now it's time for our Sangha announcements. A Soundcloud meditation will occur on Friday, April April 30th at 8 a.m. in the Ekoji Zoom room. Your attendance is greatly appreciated and will ensure that you play a leading role in this fun community event. Please visit our volunteer sign-up page for additional details.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.